Hi, Taylor. How's it going? Officer Russell with the Green Bay Police Department. Just make sure you ain't got none on you here.
This is Taylor Schabusiness, who is facing an arrest because of her gruesome acts on her boyfriend. Listening to the horrible things that Taylor did will send chills down your spine and leave you in disbelief.
I pulled him, and then his head was hanging off. I swear it is.
You cut his head off?
Yeah.
What Ms. Schabusiness told you on February 23rd of 2022.
She described playing with his penis. She had a dildo that she placed into Shad's mouth and to his. She also cuddled the body.
My friend just woke me up and swears that she found her severed head of her son in the basement.
Tell me what's happening there again?
I have no clue what's happening with my girl. She's claiming it's her son.
After this 911, the law enforcement officers wasted no time and arrived at the crime scene.
Did you both see this?
I opened the towel, I picked up the towel and dropped it because I don't know what the fuck it is, man.
Let's just... Okay. Hold on, just... That's real, right?
This is when the officers realized that they had found what they were looking for. On the evening of February 23, 2022, Shad informed his family of his plans to meet two friends, unaware of the chilling events that would soon unfold. They had arranged to spend the night together, and as his parents said their goodbyes around 9:30 p.m., little did anyone realize the danger that awaited him, lurking just beyond the shadows. Shad's mother, Tara, who had gone out for a while, returned a couple hours later. She then headed upstairs to sleep, not knowing that her son had returned home along with Taylor and was in the basement with her. Several hours after midnight, Tara was awoken by the front door being slammed. It was Taylor leaving that startled Tara. She came downstairs and started calling out to her son. Hearing no response, she decided to walk down to the basement. As she stepped into the basement, her eyes were drawn to a bucket with a rag resting on its surface. Intrigued, she pulled away the cloth and was confronted with a chilling scene. Her son's decapitated head lay within the bucket. She swiftly dialed 911.
Very positive my son's head is in a bucket. I know bucket in my basement.
What makes you think that?
Because I looked in the bucket.
What did you see?
Exactly what I told you.
When police arrived at Tara's house on Stony Brook Lane in Green Bay, Wisconsin,
Okay. Did you both see this?
I opened the towel, I picked up the towel and dropped it because I don't know what the fuck it is, man. I have bad vision and she like is that what I think? I don't know what the fuck it is.
Can I just stay with those two? I was going to see it. Where's it at?
Go right there. Look right, there's a bucket where it's on.
they began to lock up the whole place. But when they went into the basement where Shad lived, they were shocked to see what they found there. They were determined to catch the person responsible for this horrible crime because they knew that person could be a threat to everyone. In a chilling turn of events, the investigators uncovered Shad's severed genitalia resting in the bucket next to his head. Investigators examined Shad's phone records and discovered that on the night of February 23rd, Shad had arranged to meet with two acquaintances, Taylor Schabusiness and Alexander Gannon, known as AJ. On that fateful night at around 9:30 p.m., Taylor showed up to collect Shad, laying the groundwork for what was meant to be an ordinary evening in her apartment, as narrated by his mother, Tara. The investigators quickly arrived at the residences of Taylor Schabusiness and AJ to carry out their interviews. Taylor discovered she was living in a house that belonged to a man named Scott Thomas. Scott and Taylor had a deep connection, cohabitating in the same residence. At Taylor's residence, investigators uncovered blood-stained footprints near her minivan, leading directly to her apartment.
Please, nobody, please, nobody. Nothing. Hey. Is this blood? Does this look like blood to you? Or am I just tripping? Bloody footprint? You see this right here?
Could possibly be blood.
Hey, who did that? Hi, Taylor. How's it going? Officer Russell with the Green Bay Police Department. Just make sure you ain't got nothing on you here. With Taylor. Taylor, you have one warrant for your, arrest. Just put your hands behind your back, quick.
Anybody else in your apartment?
You got blood on your hands here too. No, on your hands. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to.
What apartment is it?
What apartment are you in?
Do you have it? Adam, can you come up?
Hey, cut some in, get up here.
On the double.
Which apartment?
One is what they came back to.
Yeah, go. Guys, hurry up and get here now. Watch this window right here. Gun. Go in here. Come to the back of the apartment. That's where we are. You come over here. 2 more will be fine. If 84 is here.
Hands up!
You have contact with the mail.
Hands up! Walk out towards me!
Have a seat.
Follow the traffic. Out towards me! Get out of the route!
Who else is in the apartment? Be straight up. Tomes? Who else? Just Tomes? Is he armed?
Look out!
Nobody's armed?
Nobody's armed.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Green Bay Police! Everybody get here! Announce yourself now!
Go ahead. Negative, we got enough here.
They decided to take Taylor back to the station for further interrogation. Despite facing charges for the horrific act of beheading her former partner, Taylor remains in the interrogation room, voicing her grievances about the unkempt surroundings while fixating on the camera. This illustrated Taylor's utter disconnection from reality, showing no trace of remorse for her actions against Shad Thyrion.
I hate this office. Never in my life. I'd rather be called. Clean the up. What are you doing?
The investigator cut to the chase and inquired about her connection to Shad. Taylor responded that he used to be her boyfriend.
Do you know Shad? And how do you know Shad?
He's my ex.
He's your ex-boyfriend?
She acknowledged that she encountered Shad on February 23rd in her apartment, where Scott was also in attendance. He was present when the authorities came to apprehend Taylor. She further revealed that the minivan was owned by Scott.
Now that van, is that your van?
Yeah, that's my neighbor's.
Your neighbor's?
Oh, the guy I was staying at?
Taylor was interrogated regarding the events that unfolded that night involving her and her 2 companions, Shad and AJ. She openly admitted to having smoked weed together. She mentioned that she was cutting Shad's hair while the 3 of them were smoking, but eventually, AJ chose to leave, claiming it was getting late. Once AJ departed, Taylor and Shad made their way to Shad's residence, as he mentioned that his mother and her boyfriend would be returning home late. They went to Shad's house and used ice, which is methamphetamine. She confessed to taking trazodone from her friend's Scotch drawer, and they both injected it with a needle. Taylor's confession about her drug use that night indicates a likely struggle with substance abuse, introducing yet another intricate dimension to this case. The investigator recognized that Taylor was impaired by substances during the questioning, yet proceeded with the interrogation. Without a moment's pause, Taylor admitted to Detective Graff that Shad's remains lay hidden in the basement. The investigator continued to interrogate her, inquiring about the events surrounding Shad's situation, but Taylor responded that she lost consciousness after indulging in smoking and drinking for some time. This time, despite Taylor's attempts to escape through deception, she soon recognized that her strategies were futile, leaving her with no choice but to admit the truth. During the interview, Taylor revealed that she and Shad had shared an intimate moment that evening, which included various toys and props, notably a choke collar. Detective David pressed her about the chains and various items discovered at the scene as the interrogation progressed. Taylor confesses her fascination with strangling Shad, revealing that he found pleasure in it as well. This shows her cruel and aggressive disposition.
And what would you guys like to do? Is there a certain role playing that you did with Shad? Or was it just some sort of strangulation? How would you guys do your, basically have sex?
Like, I just want to just go, yeah, and we go.
But does anybody like strangle the other person?
I like doing that.
All right, so you like being strangled, like having your airway, or do you like doing it to somebody else?
I like doing it to somebody else.
Does Shad like to be strangled?
I think so.
Have you done it before?
Yeah, he does. He likes it.
Have you used what we call props in the past?
Yes.
What?
Well, like
That or rope or chain or underwear or anything?
Yeah. That I shoved it in my mouth.
In the past or just recently?
When he was there, when he was on the bed. Yeah.
As the detective pressed Taylor about the whereabouts of the remaining body parts, a flicker of remorse crossed her face for not having brought Shad's head along. Taylor showed no signs of regret for her actions. Instead, she felt a deep sense of despair over the blunder that resulted in Shad's head being left in his basement, a misstep that ultimately brought the authorities to her doorstep. She provided straightforward responses to the investigator, indicating that certain sections of Shad were located within the van, while the remaining pieces were in the basement. The absence of any guilt following such a heinous act was truly shocking.
Like it?
Well, you're gonna have fun trying to look for all the organs, but yeah, they're all dismembered. Yeah.
How did you dismember his body?
Nice.
With what?
Knives.
Knives? Just more than one knife? Where'd you get those from?
Kitchen.
They weren't sharp?
No. It was alright. Bread knife works good.
Bread knife?
A bread knife works good, yeah.
Really?
I use what I use, so yeah. I got lazy last night, so.
Where would these knives be now?
They're in with all the organs and all the body parts.
And where was that?
In the black bag. It's in the black bag.
This could arise from a troubled mind, possibly a mental health issue that obstructs her capacity to feel any emotions connected to this horrific act. Another possibility is that she might have been affected by substances, leading her to succumb to disturbing impulses. However, the investigators had not yet uncovered the complete reality. Throughout the interrogation, she often chuckled and laughed as she recounted the events of that night.
You start to remember now what happened with Shad? What do you remember?
well, there's this chain thing, right? And then, yeah, like I was playing around with it.
Okay.
And like we were smoking the bitch, right?
Okay.
And then, I'm terrible at explaining things, so, let's see here. And then, here comes the chain, right? And then he put it around his neck. Well, we were like playing around and then I don't know.
This incident starkly illustrates that Taylor failed to grasp the seriousness of her actions when she brutally dismembered her former partner. The investigators witnessed her chilling and cruel nature as she expressed her enjoyment in observing Shad's insides while she methodically cut him apart with kitchen knives. She casually mentioned, almost in a monotone, that she felt lazy that night and didn't take the time to dismember and relocate all the body parts to her apartment. Taylor's nonchalant demeanor and apparent indifference to the crime she had just perpetrated led the detective to ponder if she had intended for Shad to meet his end all along. Taylor responds with a firm no, yet her tone reveals no trace of remorse. She recounted the events of that night as if she were engaged in a relaxed dialogue with the detective. This gradually began to highlight the underlying mental health challenges after scrutinizing Taylor's actions. Taylor recounted the chilling details of how she used chains to strangle Shad, revealing that she found enjoyment in the act and continued despite his desperate struggles. This underscores her ruthless, malevolent actions. Taylor shocked the detectives when she revealed that even after discovering Shad had died, she persisted in engaging in sexual acts with him.
Did you want Shad to be dead?
No, it was out of random. Like, I wasn't expecting that, and it kind of threw me off guard. And it was in an open place, you know, like, you went in the basement, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty open.
Well, I haven't done it, but is it?
It is. Okay. So, like, it was weird. It was really weird. And, you open the door to the outside, and you go down the stairs, and it's right there. Like, you can see everything. Like, ready to go down the stairs. Yeah.
And so, where did you get the chain?
I don't know. He pulled it out of his pocket.
He pulled it out.
He had two of them, one for me, one for them.
Can you describe them to me?
Chain link.
Chain link?
Chain link and silver.
Silver? Okay. And what size? Was it like a dog chain or a large lock type of chain? You know
They're like this big.
So silver chains.
Yes.
And he had two of them. And what'd you guys do with them?
We put them around their necks.
You did. Okay. And then what were you doing while they were around their necks?
I was strangling them.
You were strangling them?
I was having fun with them, and then
Was their clothes on or off?
he had his shorts on.
He had his shorts on. How about you?
I don't know. I didn't really care at that. But,
Did he ever put the chain around you? Was the chain ever around your neck?
I put it around my neck.
Do you have any marks or anything?
You didn't get the chance to strangle me.
Yeah, just see. You didn't get a chance to strangle you?
No.
Was that, he was going to though? Or was that part of the...
Yeah, I thought that was the thing, and then, like, I don't know, I just went a little crazy.
Okay. So when did you realize that Shad was not alive anymore?
You know, his face turned purple.
Okay.
He was coughing up blood, and he was pissing.
He was pissing himself. His face was all purple.
I still didn't stop. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what the blood, and then
So his blood was coming out of his
I kept on
mouth?
feeling his heartbeat. Hearing his heartbeat.
I'm sorry?
Hearing his heartbeat start.
Okay. Did you hear it stop?
No. Maybe. No.
Okay.
No.
So,
I'm gonna try to do it.
did you figure he was dead then?
Yeah.
And what did you do?
Played with him a little bit.
Have sex with his body at all? At any point or any type of contact? You know, obviously the stuff, but.
I grinded on him, I put the in there.
You grinded on?
Yeah, I listened.
Did you ever put his in your vagina? Or you just grind on him?
This underscores the absence of regret and her peculiar detachment from the seriousness of the offense she had perpetrated. As the questioning unfolded, Taylor unexpectedly made a peculiar remark. She asserted that an overwhelming affection for something or someone would trigger a dark impulse within her, leading to a loss of control. This revealed that Taylor was fully conscious of her actions when she dismembered Shad, especially considering they had just been intimate moments before the horrific event. She admitted to interacting with Shad's body even after he had been deceased for 2 to 3 hours, revealing disturbing tendencies. Taylor shared her feelings of remorse for not using any substances following the ordeal, recognizing that it could have eased her anxiety. She confessed to feeling a sense of frustration while she was dismembering Shad and tidying up the chaos she had caused, yet she mentioned that she found enjoyment in the process. Following her confession, Taylor quickly shifted the focus of the discussion, claiming that she had made a mistake and never intended for any of those events to unfold. As she recreated the moment of Shad's strangulation, her laughter echoed through the air, devoid of any trace of remorse or sorrow, revealing a chilling glimpse into a mind that has lost touch with reality.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what happened.
No, you know, it's feelings of a mom and a sister and a dad and family and more and more of being sorry, you know. You killed them.
Didn't mean for that to happen.
You didn't mean to kill them? But you didn't try to help them?
No, I didn't, no. It works both ways, like I have no idea,
Right, you knew he was gonna die, so.
I mean, I didn't, but at the same time I woke up like, that's bad. I didn't know what to do, cause like, he was gonna be like, ah, fuck, I didn't know. You know what I mean? Cause like, I don't know.
But you liked it?
I liked it. I'm like, what? Like, it was, like, I didn't know what to do, but like, I like it though.
Well, you knew that you didn't want to call the police or ambulance or anything, so.
Actually, I thought about it. And then, I was getting angry at myself. Very angry at myself. I didn't have a practice.
Yeah.
Sucks not having it.
When Detective David inquired why Taylor failed to contact the police or an ambulance if she genuinely regretted her actions, Taylor confessed that she had considered it. Still, her thoughts were clouded by irrationality following the murder. In a chilling moment of interrogation, the detective pressed Taylor on the details of how she dismembered Shad's body. Taylor then recounted a harrowing and graphic account of the horrific events that unfolded that night.
Because you said you cut his head off first, correct?
Yeah.
Can you describe where was he laying on the bed?
I pulled him.
Okay.
Like, say this is the bed.
Okay, so this is the top of the bed?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I pulled him, and then his head was hanging off.
So he was probably laying face up. So
yeah.
His back was on the bed.
His back was on the
bed. His head's partially off the bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the tub was like right there.
The pail that you had the head in before? Okay. So basically his head's here and the bucket's right here.
Yeah, and then from there, I started this.
You cut his head off?
Yeah.
Okay. After you cut his head off, I know you said you dumped the pail at one point into the shower.
In the shower, yeah.
Okay. Did you leave the body there for a while to drain into the pail, or what? How?
It's all in the tub, in the blue tub. You found the blue tub, right?
I don't know if they're slowly going through the scene, so there's a lot of this blood. Did you pull the tub under there then?
Oh no, I moved the tub like real fast.
Oh, so you cut the head and then pulled the tub under there?
No, when I was dismembering the body, there was, I mean, I'm going like this with a knife, so there's blood. I'm going everywhere, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. And then,
But initially, when you cut his head off, there was a pail underneath, correct? Okay, so the head went into the pail,
yeah.
the blood went into the pail. Did the blood bucket fill all the way up with blood?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Then, did you move him again when you started with the pail? Because you're talking about that blue Tupperware thing.
So I think there's a black pail, and then there's a blue Tupperware thing, right? And then his head was hanging off. And then I cut the head off, and then I moved it over, and I brought it back, and then I put it in the pail.
Okay, so initially the head went into the blue Tupperware thing, kind of?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of blood in that one right now.
In the blue Tupperware thing.
Yeah.
At any point did you, like, before you, because you said you removed the head first, did you start removing limbs right away, or did you kind of wait a little while?
That's the weird thing, like, because when it started happening, like, I started, like, nodding out.
Okay.
And then I was going crazy on the limbs, like, even while I was sleeping, and then it looked messed up, and I didn't like it.
Okay. But you believe the blue tub, that big tub, was probably, I'm thinking it's the way you're describing it's only, like, Tupperware tubs about like this size, that's your cubic foot one, and that's where most of the blood is, along with a bunch of his organs.
The organs are everywhere, too.
His organs are everywhere?
Yeah.
Did you, like, hide organs in the house?
Oh, they're in plastic bags. They're in plastic bags.
In the tub?
In backpacks.
In the backpack?
In the backpacks, and then in the...
Did you remove all organs? Like his intestines and everything, or
yeah.
Where are the intestines? Do you remember?
They're gonna be in a plastic bag.
They're all in plastic bags too. So that blue tub is always just all blood, is what you? I thought you said.
It should be like only like this much.
Alright. Okay.
Her recounting of the details felt as though she was reliving those moments to savor the excitement once more. Law enforcement recognized her significant mental health issues and the urgent need for psychological intervention. They were convinced that at the moment she carried out the act, she was fully conscious of her actions, as she repeatedly confessed her fascination with the gruesome task of dismembering Shad's body. She admitted to having engaged in disturbing activities with the mentioned objects and on Shad's lifeless body, including performing oral sex on him. This profoundly unsettled not just the investigators, but individuals worldwide, prompting a collective questioning of the absence of humanity in individuals such as Taylor Schabusiness. Taylor was apprehended on February 23, 2022, for the gruesome act of killing and dismembering her former partner, Shad Thyrion. On July 24, 2022, the courtroom drama of Taylor Schabusiness commenced. Given the seriousness of the offense, the court needed to evaluate whether Taylor was mentally stable at the time of the act and if she was aware that her actions were wrong. During the trial, Taylor's grandmother took the stand to share her testimony. She revealed that Taylor experienced a tumultuous upbringing, marked by the early loss of her mother and her father's subsequent remarriage. Taylor experienced the tragic loss of her brother, Arturo Coronado Jr., who died in a motorcycle accident in 2021. Her spouse, Orrin Schabusiness, who served as her legal advocate during the trial, was already incarcerated for the illicit distribution of methamphetamine. Her grandmother revealed that just a day after Taylor's son entered the world, Child Protective Services intervened and took him away. In response, Taylor's grandmother and her husband were engaged in a fierce battle for custody of their grandson, Mateo. In a deeply unsettling atmosphere, she revealed that Taylor struggled with depression and bipolar disorder. She emphasized that Taylor required psychological assistance, yet also deserved another opportunity to embrace life.
They found her guilty and they want her to spend her life in jail. And I think that she has gone through a lot in her short time of being here. She has gone through a lot. There's a lot of things that she has to, losing her mother, her father remarried, then her find herself pregnant and losing her son, and then losing her brother. So that's a lot for a young person to take in.
When Taylor's 51-year-old father, Arturo Coronado, arrived to provide his testimony, he was transported from prison where he was serving time for a second-degree sexual assault of a child. It was unsettling to see that as soon as he stepped into the courtroom, Taylor couldn't stop smiling and giggling throughout his testimony.
You were living in Green Bay, correct?
Yeah, you know that, Chris.
Okay. And your daughter is Taylor Denise Schabusiness, is that fair?
She is.
Who is your mother?
Marla.
Okay. And you were married to Marla for a while, sir?
Of course.
How many years was it?
We were married about 10, together about 15, 16.
He provided an honest account of Taylor's early life, emphasizing the challenges she faced during her high school years. To help her cope, her father made the decision to send her to live with her grandparents in Texas, where she ultimately graduated. He also mentioned that just prior to Mateo's birth, Taylor was hospitalized at Nicollet Psychiatric Center due to severe hallucinations and suicidal ideation. Ultimately, he concluded that Taylor was managing quite well until her husband entered her life and led her down the path of addiction. In a strikingly bizarre moment, as their mutual friend Alexander Gannon took the stand to testify, Taylor couldn't help but giggle and laugh, seemingly unfazed by the seriousness of the situation.
You want to hang out with Shad? She was asking me, for consent to hang out with Shad, to bring him home.
Alexander recounted his history with Taylor and Shad, revealing that their connection began in Bellevue Middle School, where he also confirmed their romantic involvement during that time. He recounted his experience on the night of the murder, describing how they were all gathered at Taylor's apartment drinking together. He mentioned that he departed around 1 or 2 a.m. as the hour was getting late. He went on to say that he reached out to Shad the following day, but received no responses. At her subsequent court appearance, Taylor was observed donning a spit mask, typically employed for individuals attempting to spit on law enforcement or court officials. Valerie, Taylor's second cousin, along with several distant relatives, stepped forward to share their insights. They expressed that while Taylor is in urgent need of psychological support at this moment, she deserves an opportunity for redemption and a fresh start in the future. Shad's uncle, Kelly Thyrion, shared a deeply moving statement. He stressed that while everyone faces difficult moments in life, that should never justify the brutal act of murder, and her mental health struggles should not serve as a basis for considering her for parole.
And you chose that path, and you chose the wrong path. They sit here talking about being rehabilitated. Is Shad's mother gonna ever rehabilitate from this? No, but you can go to an institution, you can go to prison and try to be rehabilitated, but I don't see no reason why you'd have parole after the doctor had just mentioned once you have so much damage that it's irreversible. So why would don't make no sense to me even to have the option of parole to come back and to gain someone's trust like that again. Because that is like the lowest thing a person can do. The cowardly path that you did, and to make other people suffer because you were suffering, is pretty shitty. So that name Taylor Schabusiness fits you well. And I'm not a praying man, but after Judge Walsh's sentences today, I will pray that you meet the same fate as your idealistic Jeffrey Dahmer.
However, when it came time for Shad's father, Michael Thyrion, to speak, he delivered a startling declaration of forgiveness towards Taylor for her actions.
Taylor, I just wanted to say that I forgive you for what you've done to my son. And yeah, you made a bad choice, and now you have to live with it. But I'm gonna miss Shad. He was a wonderful child too. Growing up, just mild mannered and just happy, and I know you made a bad choice, and like I said, I forgive you, and I'm gonna ask the judge if he can, if she can see the streets again sometime. It may not be soon, but I believe everybody makes bad choices, and maybe not to this scale, but I think there's a lot of hope for you. I think, you know, you can make use of your time and be a better person and do great things yet, you know, so it does no good for me to hate you, you know. I know you got a heart, I know you got a mind, and
Ultimately, Assistant District Attorney Caleb Saunders determined that Taylor's actions towards Shad were not influenced by substance abuse or her mental health struggles. She carried out the act purely for the thrill of it. He emphasized that Taylor's absence of remorse warrants the maximum sentence for this horrific act.
It was a series of conscious efforts. It was continued effort over, as she said, 3 to 5 minutes, as she's telling and describing for Detective Groff and Detective Kemp, pantomiming how she's pulling harder, how she's glibly talking about how he's turning purple, and I liked it. I'm pulling harder. He's coughing up blood. I'm pulling harder. I kept going. I was waiting for him to die. This really is an involved process. It's a method of ending another person's life that really is quite significant, and I think evinces some significant concerns going forward, both in looking at the nature of the offense, as we have to, but in looking at some of the other factors the court's to consider, and which I'll be commenting on earlier. It's really one of the most horrific ways to end a person's life. And again, it's bad enough to do to anyone, but as we heard, there was this level of trust and friendship and familiarity between the two, which I think is just really makes the acts of the defendant really incomprehensible in that respect. To engage in the acts that she did with his body, which I'm not going to comment on what those are. The court and counselor are aware of what happened, and the systematic and organized and laborious efforts she undertook. That's nothing we've seen. The defendant herself is telling us why this happened, and it wasn't because methamphetamine, it wasn't because of mental illness. She's telling law enforcement why this happened. It happened because she liked it. It's because she wanted to do it. And again, throughout the entirety of this case, we see this underlying motive is essentially, it's kind of consistent, right? We see, and we have seen acts of acting out, both in court and to examiners who are seeing her. It's consistent in the state's view with a lack of remorse. We consider the background of the defendant, and I echo the comments earlier. That's not a childhood, that's not an early adolescence that anyone should have to go through, and that's, it's difficult to hear some of that stuff. But when we consider that sort of background information, unfortunately, we deal with a lot of people who have substance abuse issues in the criminal justice system that lead them to make choices they wouldn't normally make, that leads them to become thieves or become burglars or become misdemeanor offenders. Really, I'm not sure we have a nexus here between that underlying substance issue or mental health history and the conduct that we're sentencing her for today.
The defense attorney, Christopher Froelich, argued that Taylor was not beyond redemption or a villain, and despite her involvement in this irreversible, horrific act, she deserves an opportunity for a second chance. He also described this entire killing as a genuine error.
This has never been about an eye for an eye. It's about fairness and justice, that my client should be punished, but she should also be given the opportunity to have a chance at the possibility of extended supervision or parole supervision sometime in the future after she gets help. This was one incident. I would argue that my client should not necessarily receive separate punishments, although we have convictions for 3 separate crimes, but it was an incident that occurred on one particular date, February 22nd of 2022. that the sentences should be concurrent. I would argue, Your Honor, and ask the court to consider the fact that this was likely a meth-fueled type of incident on the date of this tragedy. Shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. I think it would be a tragedy to, as an argument on behalf of my client, to give her life in prison without the possibility of parole. I think that the court should definitely take into account what the defense is recommending, what the independent pre-sentence investigation is recommending, and what Michael Thyrion is recommending. I don't believe that my client wanted to do this or liked doing it. I think that she really wasn't able to completely understand or fathom what was going on. And when she was talking to detectives from the Green Bay Police Department, she was still hopped up on drugs. Her mind just wasn't thinking straight. How could it?
However, when he requested a potential extension of the trial, Taylor's explosive reaction in the courtroom revealed to all that she was not merely a victim of addiction, but rather someone grappling with significant underlying problems that required urgent intervention.
Stop it. Rachel, call. Is they bringing 7 in? Yeah, let's just go to secondary. Billy, can you walk?
The trial concluded on September 26, 2022, when Judge Thomas Walsh handed down a life sentence to Taylor Schabusiness with no chance of parole.
Life imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision. I believe that's appropriate in light of the findings that I've already made. As far as count 2, mutilation of a corpse as a repeater, a Class F felony, I'm going to adopt the recommendation of the pre-sentence investigation writer. 7.5 years of initial confinement followed by 4 years of extended supervision. That'll be consecutive to count 1. As far as count 3, third-degree sexual assault as a repeater, Class G felony, I'm going to impose 3 years of initial confinement followed by 4 years of extended supervision. That will be consecutive to count 2 and count 1. As far as the revocation cases, I'm going to impose 1 year of incarceration on each of those counts. Those will run concurrent to the other offenses. I've reviewed, as I've indicated, reviewed both of the pre-sentence investigation reports. There's certainly valuable things in them. I'm going to, as conditions of supervision, I'm going to require no contact with the victim's family, maintain absolute sobriety, complete SOT assessment and treatment follow-through, obtain and maintain full-time employment. To the extent there's ever supervision, GPS monitoring. I'm going to require an AOD assessment and follow-through, psychological evaluation and follow-through. The recommendations that are contained in the pre-sentence investigation report submitted by the defense indicates or suggests that there be services engaged in for substance abuse and other mental health issues. That's a reasonable suggestion. And I think I've encompassed it in the recommendations that I made, which is there needs to be a compass evaluation and follow through with any treatment recommendations that are proposed. But again, an AODA assessment and follow through and psychological evaluation so that Ms. Schabusiness can get the help that she needs.
The case shocked everyone, leaving people in disbelief over the brutal way Taylor dismembered her former partner, Shad Thyrion. What's even more shocking is the complete absence of remorse or guilt for the horrific act she carried out. This provoked deep reflections on the nature of humanity within contemporary society. Shad's family and friends united in prayer for his soul, expressing the deep pain and lasting scars this tragic incident has left on their lives. It was equally startling that despite the seriousness of Taylor's actions, her family stood by her side, attributing her behavior to her upbringing rather than the choices she made. Today's case was disturbing, It makes one question Taylor's humanity and empathy when she can easily dismember a trusted person. It also shows that strained family relationships and parental neglect can create monsters like Taylor Schabusiness. Do you believe Taylor Schabusiness committed the act under the influence of drugs, or did she know what she was doing when she committed the crime? Do her playfulness and lack of remorse during the trial indicate psychopathic behavior? See Taylor Schabusiness's full interrogation at the link in the description. Share your thoughts in the comments. Please subscribe, like, and share our videos if you like today's. Post any crime stories you want us to cover in the comments below. Stay safe until next time.